Hey guys, hope you're having a good Saturday Memorial Weekend. Today's video I'm going to introduce my new case on a gentleman whose name is Charles Wilcox. I'm just going to play a couple second recording for you, and then I'm going to dive in and just read a little bit of an article on his case.
My name is Charles Wilcox. Back in 1994, my niece was molested.
Okay, so with that, I'll jump into reading this article here that was written by, I believe, Grace Winterwood 2 years ago. Yes, Grace Winterwood, October 23rd, 2018. She did this article to try and help get his story out, and it honestly just didn't really pick up. So while there is no dispute to the little girl, Charles's niece was sexually assaulted, the actual dispute is with who committed the crime. The date of the assault was February 1994. Charles Wilcox was convicted not until April 4th, 1998, just over 4 years later. He had wife and children then. He was convinced at the time to accept a plea deal for a lighter sentence, where he served 6 months. He was paroled, but then ultimately was sent back to serve the remainder of his sentence. And the reason why he was sent back is because since he signed the plea deal and he was incarcerated for this and held responsible for this crime, he is now a registered sex offender. Since 1998, he's been a registered sex offender. And part of that is he had some mandatory classes to do, and in those classes, they wanted him to admit to assaulting his niece. And Charles did not do that, so they sent him back to serve the remainder of his prison sentence. And as a result of that, he lost his wife, children, freedom, and his future. Now, to understand a little bit about his sister's situation, she became involved with the father of Charles's niece at a very early age. With no real adult supervision, Charles and Linda were able to run wild and kind of live their own lives, and I can relate to that because at 5 years old, I basically raised myself and my baby sister. So I can relate to that. She met the father of her children, including the one that was sexually assaulted, when she was only 12 years old. He was in his early 20s. Sadly, this was never properly questioned or addressed. Short of being a pedophile, what possible interest could a grown man in his 20s have with a preteen girl? It's fair to say she didn't understand at the time or see why this should have been a huge red flag. She was just a child. It was also a physically abusive relationship that resulted in Linda being in the hospital many times. And by the time she managed to leave him, she had multiple children. And there was a big custody battle that played out between her and the father of her children. And this all went down at the time of Charles's conviction. Those children bear scars today, not only physical, but emotional and mental scars that now affect the rest of their lives as adults today. And they're adults today. And the niece, I'll leave her name out, but we will be having her on. We'll have Charles on. We'll have Linda on. I'm in contact with everybody. So this is just a video to kind of introduce the case that I'm working on. I fully believe Charles was wronged and that the wrong man was held accountable for the crime. And unfortunately, one of the men that should be held accountable has passed away now. So there'll never be true justice. But what we can do here is get all the facts out, get all the evidence out, and have Charles's case be expunged and have his name cleared. That way he can go on and tell his story. He still has to, he's not in prison now, but he's still not a free man because he is reporting twice a year as he's a registered sex offender. He has grandchildren now that he can't be around, or he can be in big trouble and sent back to prison for being around his own grandchildren. So his life is not the same, and he is not a free man. You know, he said something to me the other day where he can't even walk out his front door to go buy a gallon of milk without people turning their nose up to him, saying rude things, and he just does not feel comfortable even leaving his house. So I'm a mom, and for me to get behind this says a lot, and you guys will see the evidence unfold. You'll talk to Charles, you'll be able to ask him questions personally. What we're going to do is do a video or two a week on my channel, and you guys can drop the questions in the comments below and they will get answered. And then every Tuesday evening you'll go to Tania's channel where we will be live, and Charles will be on there. We'll have Linda. I'm in contact with everybody, from even the victim herself has her uncle's back and says she was coerced to say the wrong name. There is going to be a disclaimer. This is going to be a very triggering story. So many of these videos this whole case has quite a bit of child molestation and rape involved in it by many different people. But you'll see that the wrong person is paying the price for this crime. So I think that's going to be all today. But like I said, once or twice a week, I'm not sure what days, we're going to put the videos up there. I have tons of recordings. Every call we do, we record it. And also, he will be on lives and answer any questions you guys have. We're not going to have any hate comments at all. I'm just going to delete them. This is going to be a safe place because him and his family are going to be seeing this. And this is going to be a place where he doesn't need to see or read any negative anything. I welcome everybody's opinion normally, but if there's nasty comments on this, they're not going to be shown. This is the one place where I'm going to make sure him and his family don't need to see that bullshit. So with that, I hope you guys have a good Saturday, and we'll start getting this out once or twice a week, giving all of the evidence, and I think you guys will actually be behind him and see that he's not guilty of this crime at all. And a lot of you know my background and the abuse I suffered from. So I've been a victim of rape as a child, and I can tell you that I am behind him 100%. As a mother and a victim myself, it's the wrong guy. We've got the mother of the victim and the victim herself saying it's the wrong guy. So with that being said, I'm just going to end this video, and I'm going to leave the link to the article, the little bit that I read, if you guys want some reading material. You guys will find out a lot in there. I'm doing another video about one of the biggest evidences why I do back him up, and he'll also tell you himself on that big thing, which would be an STD. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your Memorial weekend, and if you guys have a problem with this, go ahead and unsub, but let's just forget about the nasty comments so that this is a safe place for an innocent man to come and be able to tell his story. Okay? Thanks, guys.